Hey everyone, this is Scott from Forgot to Grow Up. Welcome to our Stranger Things 3 Thoughts video. I just finished watching the latest season of Stranger Things, and I'm just going to share my general thoughts. In this season, we see that the Mind Flayer seems to be back, and, well, the kids of Hawkins have to kind of come together and deal with that yet again. So I really enjoyed this season. I think this might have been my favorite season of Stranger Things yet. I really enjoyed the fact this one ramped up on the action, the kind of horror and suspense of it, the sci-fi, all of the elements that make Stranger Things great. I think they ramped up in just the perfect kinds of way. They didn't overdo it, but I really enjoyed this season. So, like, in particular, the storyline with this having almost like a couple storylines that are coming together. Being a couple storylines because the different characters kind of get a little split up. We don't see all the kids hanging out the whole time. We see a little bit more. We got a couple teams, some teams working on the problem in this season, so I really enjoyed that. This is a little bit of a different dynamic than we've gotten in the first two seasons, but still getting that same feel with the same characters, because we already know these characters, but we get to spend a little bit more time with them, see them interact with some interacting in different pairs and stuff like that, dealing with more grown-up issues now that these kids are they're now teenagers, they're now officially teenagers, they got grown-up issues, and they're not playing D&D anymore, well, despite what Will wants, but they're growing up, and so they're dealing with a little bit more grown-up problems, particularly girlfriend stuff, boyfriend and girlfriend stuff. Elle and Max are dealing with Mike and Lucas and Mike are dealing with. But it's great. I still really enjoyed it. I thought this was a really fun season. I like the addition of the Russian kind of invasion plot a little bit, with the Russians kind of being the thing that kind of sparks off how the Mind Flayer is, trying to get back into our reality. So I really enjoyed that element to it. So one of the other things I liked about this season, I liked that we had Hop and Joyce really teamed up this season. The last two seasons we had them a little bit because Joyce has to work with him because but this one they were a straight up team the whole season, and I really enjoyed it. I like their dynamic, their bickering. They got the talk from Murray about telling your true feelings, but I really like their dynamic throughout this whole season, the tension between those two, them not being able to admit their feelings completely. But, well, it's actually kind of funny because Hop is the one more willing to admit his feelings to her but I just still enjoyed that. I also enjoyed that Hop is dealing with Elle and Mike, who are all lovey-dovey and making out all the time and spending every day for the last 6 months, he says, together. And so I like that he's just really frustrated with that and wants a moment of peace, and I like the way he kind of deals with it and how that kind of brings about them all kind of growing a little bit. Elle realizing that she doesn't only have to hang out with Mike, and that she can hang out with other people like Max. And I like that those two are now getting along. They're gal pals. Max teaches Elle all about shopping and the mall, which is a big feature of this season, obviously, which is obviously a big thing from the 80s, and it makes sense that this would come to Stranger Things. But I do also like that they brought in a little bit of the fact of what happened when malls did come to small towns in America, which was a lot of small mom and pop shops end up closing. So we see a little bit of that being dealt with in this season as well. So I enjoyed that. Some of the things I liked, we got Dustin and Steve, a little bit more buddy this season. Even like last season we saw them paired up a little bit, but this one they're like best friends in this season. They actually hang out the whole season. Dustin barely spends any time with his friends, but he's hanging out with Steve the whole time, who has a new friend named Robin, and she's cool. They're all cool. They're the Scoops Troops, and I really like their storyline as a team is going through figuring out this whole Russian thing and the whole Russian mystery. So I enjoyed that. What else have I written? There's a lot of fighting in this scene for Hop, at least. Hop fights a whole lot in this season, and I really dig it. He gets in a fight with a bunch of different Russians a bunch of different times, and I really like it because he's not like a graceful fighter. He's not like he's trained in any kind of martial arts, but he's a big guy, so he's a lot to handle on anybody's part. So it's really enjoyable to kind of see him kind of tussling with some kind of what seems like pretty well trained individuals, where he's just kind of just brutally kind of getting in there. So I really enjoyed those. I like the fact that it was a little more actiony for Hop. He got to do a little bit more stuff than just kind of investigating. He got to throw some punches, which I like. We also saw Elle using her powers a lot more this season, which I really enjoyed. I thought if I had those powers, I'd use them all the time too. I do like that they also have Mike bring up she's not a machine. She can't just overuse them, and that they address that issue in this season as well, that she there's a limit to her ability at some point. There's a limit to everybody's abilities at some point, even people with super abilities like Elle. But I still enjoy it. Like, I enjoyed how much she uses it and the different ways in which she uses it, and that she's still not quite like. There's certain things that she can do without even like a second thought. It doesn't even get much blood, but then there's other things she has to focus a little bit more on. So I like that she's not all powerful, but she's also, we can see that she does still have a wide range of ability, or wide strength of ability, or with it when it comes to it, depending on how hard she concentrates on whatever she wants to do. So I really enjoyed the way they used her powers throughout this season, but but also addressed how she could potentially be overusing it. So I like that. So yeah, I'm going to talk about, I might have spoiled some of the stuff already, but some major actual spoilers. So if you haven't finished the season, this is a bunch of stuff mainly from the last episode. So if you haven't finished the season, you might want to tune out now. But yes, so some big spoiler stuff. I liked Billy's arc in this season. Last season, Billy was just a dick. This season, he's kind of the bad guy. He's the host of the bad guy in this season, but I like that he kind of has a redemption in the very last episode, just a very little one before dying. It's kind of sad to see him die. We've only gotten very little of his character, but he did at least get a little bit of redemption. It was interesting to see him as the host in this season, but it only really plays into the first couple episodes. But yeah, another spoiler. Apparently, Hop's dead. This one's a little bit more questionable. It seems like he might have died, but at the same time, they left it open enough, like there wasn't a body. And at the end, we had a little post credits at the end of this show, at the end of the last episode of this season, which takes place in Russia, and we see that the Russians have a Demogorgon, which kind of implies that they were actually able to get into the Upside Down. And they also mention an American in a cell, so I'm guessing Hop maybe got teleported to the Upside Down and then to where Russia is, or to where the Russian lab is, and that's how we're gonna get the next season. I hope that's at least what happens, but as of right now, they imply that Hop is dead, which if he is, I'm gonna be very sad. I will not be watching another season of this show if he's actually dead. Well, I will watch another season to see if he is dead or not, but I'll be disappointed, guys. I'll be very disappointed, but I have a feeling he's probably not. He'll be probably coming back. Another thing we get at the very end of this season that kind of made it feel like, maybe like until I saw the post-credit I just mentioned, I was worried that this was like the series finale potentially, because we see the buyers, so that's Mike, Joyce, and John, and now Elle are all planning to move and are leaving Hawkins. That's how we end this season off. So it did very much leave, like, before you get to the credits, it seemed like we were like, oh, is this show done? Are they done? We're not getting any Stranger Things. I was a little bit worried about that for a second. But then we got that post-credit scenes, which gives me a little bit of hope. It's a Netflix show. There's no reason to put post-credits like that unless you're going to give us another one. But that being said, they also fucked with us when it came to Iron Fist and Luke Cage. Those were also Marvel ones. This is, I believe, just a straight Netflix one. So hopefully we get another season, but we will see what ends up going on with that, with them leaving Hawkins. It seemed kind of... It fit in with certain parts of the season, but it also seemed kind of like it made me feel like, is this show done? Are you guys ending it? Like, if it does end here, it kind of makes sense that we weren't not get another season. But it also is kind of like, well, we are getting another season. Where are they going to be? How are we going to tie it in? Are we going to get half of them? Are we going to get two separate stories in two separate towns? Are they going to hand it back? I don't know, but I'm curious. So I'm very curious to see if we actually are going to be getting another season or not. I tried to look online. It looked like there's some stuff that says that it's been confirmed, but it also hasn't like officially been confirmed from what I could see. So hopefully we get another season, and we get a little bit of answers to these couple things. Otherwise, we're just left off it this way. But yeah, that's all my thoughts on this season. Overall, I really enjoyed this season, and I'm hoping for another. But be sure to let me know in the comments below what you thought about Stranger Things 3. Thanks again for joining me. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and have a good one.